Hi everyone, I'm George Gascón, your district attorney. I've spent a lifelong career on public safety and serving our community. I was a chief of police, I was a police officer here in LAPD for many years, and then I was a district attorney as well. I am committed to the safety of our community. I go home at night thinking about safety of our community. I get up in the morning thinking about how to make our community safer. My opponent, on the other hand, is a corporate attorney, someone that was defending billionaire tax evaders and a corrupt sheriff. The difference is very clear: a career public servant or someone that is just simply running for office. I care deeply about the economic and the safety of our community, and to that end, I work regularly with many other partners, not only in government, but community-based organizations and resident groups, to ensure that we enhance the safety of our community. Jurisdictionally, as a district attorney in LA County, I do not handle misdemeanors in downtown LA. So I handle robberies, murders, aggravated assaults, organized retail theft. On the other hand, lower level crimes like retail theft, shoplifting, simple assaults, traffic problems are handled by the city attorney. In either case, we require that the police make an arrest beforehand, and then that person that is arrested gets presented in front of the prosecutor. So again, to wrap it up, I have a deep respect and I care deeply for the safety of our community, and we work together with many other partners, but we also have limitations in our jurisdiction, and I recognize that, and that's why it's so important to work with the police, the city attorney, our city council, our mayor, in order to make sure that we also are providing the resources that are necessary for the security of us all. Look, as someone that used public transportation for many years, someone that still rides a bike and loves to walk, I know how important it is to be able to have safety for our pedestrians, safety for those that are biking, and quite frankly, it's good for our environment to get off the car. And I, in my office, work with others to make sure that we bring the resources what we can in order to deal with this problem. Jurisdictionally, though, when it comes to Metro and the provision of public transportation, that does not come under the jurisdiction of the district attorney's office. And certainly when it comes to traffic safety, most of that is going to fall upon the police and the city attorney. When we get involved, it's usually when there is something that has occurred that is very serious, such as someone getting killed by someone that was driving recklessly, somebody that was driving under the influence of alcohol, or somebody that caused some severe damage. So the importance of working together, and this is, we all live in the same community. I walk this community, I ride bikes in the community, so my job is often to use my role to encourage others to make sure that we address these issues and that we get the resources that are necessary in order to do the work, and then the part where I have jurisdiction in, to ensure that we're addressing it aggressively to protect our community. I'm a strong believer in criminal justice reform, and the reason why I am is because I believe that in order to keep our community safe, we have to ensure that every segment of our community feels that the system is there for them. We have gone through decades of mass incarceration where Black and brown people and poor people have been targeted, sometimes not because of the crimes they committed, but just simply because of the way they look. We also know that while policing generally does very good work, and we're there to support good policing, we also have to make sure that policing is held accountable when they violate the law, just like prosecutors need to be held accountable. So to that end, during my last nearly 4 years, we have aggressively prosecuted officers that have used excessive force, that have lied in court. We have prosecuted over 150 officers. By comparison, prior 22 years, there were only one prosecution for excessive force in our office. When it comes to how to deal with crime, it is critically important that we address both the systemic inequalities at the same time that we're addressing the insecurity in order to make sure that our community is safe. So as district attorney, my jurisdiction in downtown LA is when there are felony crimes that are committed. When we do robberies, murders, aggravated assaults with weapons, organized retail theft, those are things that if the police makes an arrest and they bring the case to us, then we can evaluate and prosecute, and our prosecution rates for those cases are very high. And people that have committed serious harm are going to prison for extended periods of time. On the other hand, we do not police, so we're fully depending on the police doing their work. And number two, many of the things that involve lighting, quality of life issues are going to fall right within the city council's and the mayor's role, or if there is a low-level crime, it's going to go to the city attorney's office, assuming that the police makes an arrest. One of the things that I have concentrated very aggressively in the last 4 years is to use the power of the office to get additional resources to make sure that we can provide housing and other services, especially for those that are in the intersection between being unhoused and committing crimes. In downtown LA, my jurisdiction comes in when there are serious crimes that are committed. So for instance, when someone, whether unhoused or not, commits a serious crime like an aggravated assault, a robbery with a weapon, and there's a police report and a police arrest made, we aggressively prosecute those cases. In my experience, most of the time the unhoused become the victims of crime. We know that, for instance, women that are unhoused have a higher probability of being sexually assaulted, so protecting those victims is also very important for us. We have a full spectrum of services under our Victim Services Division that we also do that kind of work. But finally, we must understand that the cure for unhoused and the housing inequalities come with building more housing. The city attorney will certainly handle misdemeanors like, camping on a sidewalk or, indecent exposure. Those do not come to my office. We only deal with the violent crimes, but we have to make sure that we do not over-criminalize the poor and end up with more problems than we already have. I'm against Prop 36, and so are most Democrats, including Governor Newsom and the Democratic Party. And the reason why I'm against it is because Prop 36 is going to take us back to the days of the war on drugs. The issue of retail theft has been handled already by the legislatures and the governor, and I support it and I sponsor some of those bills. But the other part that says that if you get arrested 3 times for possession of drugs, you can go to prison, that will take us back to days that we were years ago when we were over-incarcerating our black and brown communities. As to fentanyl, I put together a task force over 2 years ago because I recognize that this is not only a law enforcement issue, but it's a public health issue. I brought in the health department, I brought in schools, I brought in law enforcement, I brought in victims of families that had lost someone to the fentanyl issue, and we work together. We go after the traffickers, and when we find traffickers and we prosecute them, we're very aggressive, but we also want to ensure that we do not criminalize a health issue, which is people that are addicted, and we don't want to drive this underground. We also want to engage in harm reduction. We want to make sure that we have treatment to make sure that those that are suffering from this health issue are getting the level of services they need. You cannot cure cancer on a concrete box, and you cannot cure addiction in a concrete box. I believe that downtown LA and our community should re-elect me because I'm the only one in this race that actually has spent a life of public service. I've spent a life dealing with public safety. I go home at night and I get up in the morning thinking about the safety of our community, but I also believe it's important to be balanced and to be fair. My opponent, on the other hand, is a corporate lawyer. He was trying to get tax evaders for not paying taxes, and he defended a corrupt sheriff, and he will continue to address the work through the lenses of someone that is not connected to our community.